File 41.
Noontide. And Zarathustra ran and ran, but he found no one else, and was alone and ever found himself again. He enjoyed and quaffed his solitude, and thought of good things for hours. About the hour of noontide, however, when the sun stood exactly over Zarathustra's head, he passed an old bent and gnarled tree, which was encircled round by the ardent love of a vine, and hidden from itself. From this there hung yellow grapes in abundance, confronting the wanderer. Then he felt inclined to quench a little thirst, and to break off for himself a cluster of grapes. When, however, he had already his arm outstretched for that purpose, he felt still more inclined for something else, namely, to lie down beside the tree at the hour of perfect noontide and sleep. This Zarathustra did, and no sooner had he laid himself on the ground in the stillness and secrecy of the variegated grass than he had forgotten his little thirst and fell asleep. For as the proverb of Zarathustra saith, one thing is more necessary than the other. Only that his eyes remained open, for they never grew weary of viewing and admiring the tree and the love of the vine. In falling asleep, however, Zarathustra spoke thus to his heart. Hush, hush, hath not the world now become perfect? What hath happened unto me? As a delicate wind danceth invisibly upon parkade seas, light, feather-light, so danceth sleep upon me. No eye doth it close to me, it leaveth my soul awake. Light is it, verily, feather-light. It persuadeth me, I know not how, it toucheth me inwardly with a caressing hand, it constraineth me, yea, it constraineth me so that my soul stretcheth itself out. How long and weary it becometh, my strange soul! Hath a seventh-day evening come to it precisely at noontide? Hath it already wandered too long, blissfully, among good and ripe things? It stretcheth itself out, long, longer. It lieth still, my strange soul. Too many good things hath it already tasted. This golden sadness oppresseth it, it distorteth its mouth. As a ship that pulleth into the calmest cove, it now draweth up to the land, weary of long voyages and uncertain seas. Is not the land more faithful? As such a ship huggeth the shore, tuggeth the shore, then it sufficeth for a spider to spin its thread from the ship to the land. No stronger ropes are required there. As such a weary ship in the calmest cove, so do I also now repose, nigh to the earth, faithful, trusting, waiting, bound to it with the lightest threads. O happiness! O happiness! Wilt thou perhaps sing, O my soul? Thou liest in the grass, but this is the secret solemn hour when no shepherd playeth his pipe. Take care! Hot noontide sleepeth on the fields. Do not sing! Hush! The world is perfect. Do not sing, thou prairie bird, my soul. Do not even whisper. Lo! Hush! The old noontide sleepeth. It moveth its mouth. Doth it not just now drink a drop of happiness? An old brown drop of golden happiness, golden wine? Something whisketh over it. Its happiness laugheth. Thus laugheth a god. Hush! For happiness, how little sufficeth for happiness! Thus spoke I once and thought myself wise, but it was a blasphemy. That have I now learned. Wise fools speak better. The last thing precisely, the gentlest thing, the lightest thing, a lizard's rustling, a breath, a whisk, an eye-glance, little maketh up the best happiness. Hush! What hath befallen me? Hark! Hath time flown away? Do I not fall? Have I not fallen, hark, into the well of eternity? What happeneth to me? Hush! It stingeth me, alas, to the heart. To the heart! Oh, break up my heart after such happiness, after such a sting! What? Hath not the world just now become perfect, round and ripe? Oh, for the golden round ring! Whither doth it fly? Let me run after it, quick! Hush! And here Zarathustra stretched himself, and felt that he was asleep. Up, said he to himself, thou sleeper, thou noontide sleeper, well then up, ye old legs! It is time, and more than time, many a good stretch of road is still awaiting you. Now have ye slept your fill, for how long a time? A half eternity. Well then up now, mine old heart, for how long after such a sleep mayest thou remain awake? But then did he fall asleep anew, and his soul spoke against him and defended itself, and lay down again. Leave me alone, hush! Hath not the world just now become perfect? Oh, for the golden round ball! Get up, said Zarathustra, thou little thief, thou sluggard! What, still stretching thyself, yawning, sighing, falling into deep wells? Who art thou then, O my soul? And here he became frightened, for a sunbeam shot down from heaven upon his face. O heaven above me, said he, sighing, and sat upright, thou gazest at me? Thou hearkenest unto my strange soul? When wilt thou drink this drop of dew that fell down upon all earthly things? When wilt thou drink this strange soul? When, thou well of eternity, thou joyous, awful, noontide abyss? When wilt thou drink my soul back into thee? Thus spoke Zarathustra, and rose from his couch beside the tree, as if awakening from a strange drunkenness. And behold, there stood the sun still exactly above his head. One might, however, rightly infer therefrom that Zarathustra had not then slept long. The greeting. It was late in the afternoon only when Zarathustra, after long useless searching and strolling about, again came home to his cave. When, however, he stood over against it, not more than 20 paces therefrom, the thing happened which he now least of all expected. He heard anew the great cry of distress. And extraordinary! This time the cry came out of his own cave. It was a long, manifold, peculiar cry, and Zarathustra plainly distinguished that it was composed of many voices. Although heard at a distance, it might sound like the cry out of a single mouth. Thereupon Zarathustra rushed forward to his cave, and behold, what a spectacle awaited him after that concert! For there did they all sit together whom he had passed during the day, the king on the right and the king on the left, the old magician, the pope, the voluntary beggar, the shadow, the intellectually conscientious one, the sorrowful soothsayer, and the ass. The ugliest man, however, had set a crown on his head, and had put round him 2 purple girdles, for he liked, like all ugly ones, to disguise himself and play the handsome person. In the midst, however, of that sorrowful company stood Zarathustra's eagle, ruffled and disquieted, for it had been called upon to answer too much for which its pride had not any answer. The wise serpent, however, hung round its neck. All this did Zarathustra behold with great astonishment. Then, however, he scrutinized each individual guest with courteous curiosity, read their souls, and wondered anew. In the meantime, the assembled ones had risen from their seats, and waited with reverence for Zarathustra to speak. Zarathustra, however, spoke thus. Ye despairing ones, ye strange ones, so it was your cry of distress that I heard. And now do I know also where he is to be sought, whom I have sought for in vain today, the higher man. In mine own cave sitteth he, the higher man. But why do I wonder? Have not I myself allured to me by honey offerings and artful lure calls of my happiness? But it seemeth to me that ye are badly adapted for company. Ye make one another's hearts fretful, ye that cry for help when ye sit here together. There is one that must first come. One who will make you laugh once more, a good, jovial buffoon, a dancer, a wind, a wild romp, some old fool. What think ye? Forgive me, however, ye despairing ones, for speaking such trivial words before you, unworthy, verily, of such guests. But ye do not divine what maketh my heart wanton. Ye yourselves do it, and your aspect, forgive it me. For every one becometh courageous who beholdeth a despairing one. To encourage a despairing one, every one thinketh himself strong enough to do so. To myself have ye given this power. A good gift, mine honourable guests, an excellent guest's present. Well, do not then upbraid when I also offer you something of mine. This is mine empire and my dominion. That which is mine, however, shall this evening and tonight be yours. Mine animals shall serve you. Let my cave be your resting place. At house and home with me shall no one despair. In my purlieus do I protect every one from his wild beasts, and that is the first thing which I offer you, security. The second thing, however, is my little finger, and when ye have that, then take the whole hand also, yea, and the heart with it. Welcome here, welcome to you, my guests. Thus spoke Zarathustra, and laughed with love and mischief. After this greeting his guests bowed once more, and were reverentially silent. The king on the right, however, answered him in their name. O Zarathustra, by the way in which thou hast given us thy hand and thy greeting, we recognize thee as Zarathustra. Thou hast humbled thyself before us. Almost hast thou hurt our reverence. Who, however, could have humbled himself as thou hast done, with such pride, that uplifteth us ourselves? A refreshment is it to our eyes and hearts. To behold this merely, gladly would we ascend higher mountains than this. For as eager beholders have we come. We wanted to see what brighteneth dim eyes. And lo, now is it all over with our cries of distress. Now are our minds and hearts open and enraptured. Little is lacking for our spirits to become wanton. There is nothing, O Zarathustra, that groweth more pleasingly on earth than a lofty strong will. It is the finest growth. An entire landscape refresheth itself at one such tree. To the pine do I compare him, O Zarathustra, which groweth up like thee, tall, silent, hardy, solitary, of the best supplest wood, stately. In the end, however, grasping out for its dominion with strong green branches, asking weighty questions of the wind, the storm, and whatever is at home on high places, answering more weightily, a commander, a victor. Oh, who should not ascend high mountains to behold such growths? At thy tree, O Zarathustra, the gloomy and ill-constituted also refresh themselves. At thy look even the wavering become steady and heal their hearts. And verily, toward thy mountain and thy tree do many eyes turn today. A great longing hath arisen, and many have learned to ask, Who is Zarathustra? And those into whose ears thou hast at any time dripped thy song and thy honey, all the hidden ones, the lone dwellers and the twain dwellers, have simultaneously said to their hearts, Doth Zarathustra still live? It is no longer worth while to live. Everything is indifferent, everything is useless, or else we must live with Zarathustra. Why doth he not come who hath so long announced himself? Thus do many people ask, Hath solitude swallowed him up, or should we perhaps go to him? Now doth it come to pass that solitude itself becometh fragile and breaketh open, like a grave that breaketh open and can no longer hold its dead. Everywhere one seeth resurrected ones. Now do the waves rise and rise around thy mountain, O Zarathustra. And however high be thy height, many of them must rise up to thee. Thy boat shall not rest much longer on dry ground. And that we despairing ones have now come into thy cave, and already no longer despair, it is but a prognostic and a presage that better ones are on the way to thee. For they themselves are on the way to thee, the last remnant of God among men, that is to say, all the men of great longing, of great loathing, of great satiety, all who do not want to live unless they learn again to hope, unless they learn from thee, O Zarathustra, the great hope. Thus spoke the king on the right, and seized the hand of Zarathustra in order to kiss it. But Zarathustra checked his veneration and stepped back frightened, fleeing as it were, silently and suddenly into the far distance.